All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Signal Callers DFS Show. Today is September 16th. We're going to take a look at our Week 2 DFS results today, talk over our lineups, and reflect on what we got right or wrong, which was a lot. I'm Kevin. Blake's traveling the world again, so I've just got Trey here with me. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Not a good week for me at all. Lots of injuries, and like you said, it was one of those like you had to have the right game weekends.
Yep.
And I think that ended up being what Dallas and New York
Dallas
Giants and then Detroit.
Yeah. Any before we dive into the rosters, any big takeaways from the weekend? Just like overarching thoughts coming off of week 1.
I have a lot of thoughts, like just these injuries, man. Like my best ball bags took a dip this week, which I mean I know they fluctuate week by week a lot, but the Burrow injury is huge. I had a lot of Cincy stacks. Aaron Jones went on IR, which he was kind of like my favorite click for zero RBs, like ending that wide receiver avalanche one round to get a guy like him, and he didn't do anything, and now he's hurt. The elite tight ends are not like really eliting, so that doesn't feel good.
We spent all summer flag planting that. Basically, that was our favorite strategy, and here we go with like just mediocre weeks. You know, we got Tucker Kraft going like off in week 2.
Johnson.
Like, Jawan Johnson's been like a stud, which is crazy to think about. But
it's crazy how this stuff fluctuates though, because week 1 we're all like singing praises and happy, and it's like, and then Derrick Henry has a 2-point outing, and it's like, oh, we might be back, and then all these other areas were taking L's. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's like everybody knows nothing in week 1, and then like what people think they know from coming from week 1, like you feel like even more lost coming out of week 2. You know, we'll touch on it because I was a big Justin Fields believer this week. Obviously, flag planted him last week, and that feels really bad. Spent a lot of fab on him in our home league, and took an L that way too. So I wore Justin Fields on my face all weekend, and just wasn't good. So
I'll tell you who looks good: the Chargers.
Yeah. I mean also, Marion Hampton bags don't feel great because, of course, now they're a passing team, which who could have seen that coming, I guess.
RJ Harvey bags don't look good.
Pretty much any rookie running back, like the pendulum has swung so far, because it used to be like the rookie running backs are the safest like rookies to take because they're the ones who usually have like it's the game's quote unquote easier for them to learn versus like a running back transitioning from college to the pros. And a lot of these guys get drafted into situations where they'll have an early path to workload. And Genty looks good, but that line is just terrible. He can't get more than like half a yard of before he gets hit. He's usually getting hit in the backfield.
He's in a bunch of negative game scripts, and Gino just tries to chuck the ball downfield.
Yeah, that game was tough. I mean, Chargers defense looks really legit too. So you know, kind of have to just week by week just see how he goes week by week. I do think that Genty and Hampton are going to be like the ones who separate themselves, but Henderson doesn't look good after his. Who knew Ramondre was going to be the guy who had a resurgence? So
apparently, that big chunk play Ramondre had was originally designed for Henderson, and
I saw
that's
that.
just pain.
Yeah,
pain because I started him everywhere. He was my flag plant at running back.
Yeah,
so
it's easy. We were talking about this right before we hit record, but this is just one of those weeks where like you just sit there and you think like, man, do I really want to keep doing this? And, you know, you come like you won 10K literally night 1, and you're like, do I want to just keep like putting money into this and just kind of like plugging away at it? So
that's the grind.
Yeah, you kind of just have to like look at it from a situation of where it's like it's just extreme variance, and we're going to deal with that on a week-to-week basis. So yeah, let's dive into. We don't have too much to show from Thursday. I was pretty much most of my stacks were Washington stacks. I did have some craft in the play action some of my play action lineups and captain. So I got like a little bit of money back, but in my spy lineup, I was leaning Debo all day, and then I at the last second switched to Terry, and just that wasn't good. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I have nothing worth showing from Thursday Night Showdown. If you watched the last show, I flag planted Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and Austin Eckler went down. He still had 1.3 point fantasy points. So I got all the Green Bay. I went heavy Washington, and Green Bay is just better than we all thought. Like I got all the Green Bay pieces wrong. Like Jaden Reed went down. I had him pretty heavy. So yeah, just I don't think I've won a single dollar on Thursday Night Showdown.
Part of me with the Bill stuff, I wonder how much of that was Washington just like looking at their line, seeing it just getting destroyed all night. I mean, Parsons was just like pinning his ears back. He had nothing. Like there was traffic cones in front of him, dude. Like kind of got to the point where I was feeling bad for their rookie tackle that he just like literally kept lining up in front of. So part of me just wonders if like they just knew that like Ja'Cory wouldn't have any chance, so they just like weren't gonna even try with him. At least that's me trying to cope my bill bags. I don't have as deep a bill bags as you do, but yeah.
I have more Eckler bags, and so that hurts.
Yeah, that's tough. Eckler going down with an Achilles.
Is it time to panic about like McLaurin?
Dude, I don't know. And now it's Jaden is nursing a knee. He's like day to day. They're saying it's not serious, but you kind of just wonder like, I mean, the line does not look good at all. So he's running for his life. He like barely has any time to even process what's happening in front of him, and he's getting like he's got defenders in his face. It's hard to like think about like what is panic worthy after only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What's your gut reaction?
I mean, he didn't have any training camp, and so I took that in consideration. But I was like, he had a super weak week one, and he was just missed on a few targets. I figured like a week under his belt, like he might go kind of unnoticed by the field. And it was Debo again that I think led target share.
I'm looking it up right now. Debo definitely had the better game, but a lot of it came in garbage time, I believe. But Terry had 9 targets, so it was up from what he had, like 6. No, he had 4 week 1, and he had 9 this week. So he was 5 for 48, long of 14, 9 targets. I mean, I kind of expected the targets to go up. Let me see, where is Debo's? And Debo had 10 week 1 and 8 this week.
Yeah.
So, and he had a touchdown. So, which kind of saved his week because he wasn't doing. I mean, nobody on Washington was really doing anything besides Ertz. Ertz looked okay. Old man Ertz, the ageless wonder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably just going to keep going back to him. I mean, they're in the division with, they get to play the Giants again. I just hope that Jaden can stay healthy the rest of the year.
Yeah.
These injuries are starting to kind of mount up. What's crazy too, like no real running back injuries have cropped up, but like the elite quarterbacks are. Well, I mean, Burrow going down just sucks, man. As just from like a fan of like him, being LSU guys and like seeing him just like they just can't figure it out, man. He's like won the comeback player of the year 3 times, or twice. He could win it 3 times.
It's like an every other year thing with him now.
It's like every other year with him.
Yeah. So it's bad news for the Burrow 4-5 turn boys. He was going above ADP all summer. And like if you wanted to lock in that Cincy mega stack, you had to reach on him. And so I'm victim of it a few times.
You didn't get anything from him because week 1 was terrible. So it's terrible. So this feels very reminiscent to like 2 years ago when I just kept getting the 101, taking Chase, and then taking Burrow and stacking them, and they both got, or I think Burrow got hurt and Chase missed a couple games, and those lineups were just dead after like 2 weeks, and this was very similar to that. So
yeah.
luckily,
I guess
I
the
don't
bright
have a ton
spot
of
there is like Chase still had a decent game with Jake Browning. So.
I mean, Browning is a pretty serviceable backup. He's obviously not. I mean, he came in and threw 3 picks. So somehow, since he still won that game, which I mean, Jacksonville, I think it is definitely time to panic on them. But and that does not feel good considering they were one of my flag plant teams all summer too. So we can save that for another show. But let's move on to Sunday. I had a little bit of luck on Sunday. Well, not really. Let's share my screen real quick. So I made 5 lineups on Sunday, and I put 5 of them into the 3-point stance. So this is a $33 entry 5 max, 5,300 entries. So not small, not super small field, but definitely not super large like the Millie. This was my best lineup, as you can see. Barely above a min cash. I think min cash was like $50. So, I mean, this is my best lineup. And honestly, I should have listened to myself all summer. One of my bold takes was Drake May. I'm gonna show you the lineup that I put into the SPY, which is what killed my day because I didn't cash anything in the SPY with my worst lineup. But my best lineup, if I'd have put it in there, I won a little bit back. But this is just a Drake May to Booty. Booty only with 1 target. Luckily, it was a touchdown. But that was kind of strange. H-Chain with the comeback, which felt pretty good. Drake May being 7% owned was interesting. I thought he would catch a little bit more steam.
We were on it too. Like I think we pointed out in the preview show, like Drake May feels good this week. He had like 40. I think he set a record for passing attempts last week. He had some design runs, and so it's kind of why I went him, Henderson, and something in New England was going to hit. So that's a good call.
Yeah. Brees Hall feels bad. I mean, the Jet stuff, I'll touch on in a second because I just threw him in a lot of lineups. Chase was just a had-to-have-it guy. Obviously, he got there. Massive day. Brian Thomas Jr., man, he's just super disappointing year. I don't know. Have you seen any of the Brian Thomas discourse on Twitter?
They are like full-blown panicking. Like, I mean, Jacksonville Twitter is like, get him out of here. Like,
dude. Some of the clips, some of the plays don't look good. Man.
Awful, bro. Like he didn't want to be there. Like his body language. He had that one like would have been a touchdown grab, but he just sticks out fingers. And,
dude.
Look, what the heck is going on?
I get it. Like you don't want to get hit. There's a play from the preseason where he got just blown up by a Pittsburgh defender, and people are saying that he's still like thinking about that every time he goes over the middle. And like the thing about Liam Cohen's offense is it's a lot of that, like a lot of crossers. If you're going to like thrive in this offense, you got to be like unafraid to go across the middle. And I mean, he still got like 12 targets, I think, which honestly was the highest targeted game with Trevor Lawrence. So like, and the game environment was there, man. I mean, 27-31, he got 12 targets. Like it's just something's not right with him. And I don't know, man. I hope they fix it because he's looking like a massive bust early in the second round turn in best ball. And I have a lot of him. Well, I have a lot of the Jags in general, but obviously I have a lot of him. So
Travis Hunter ain't doing shit either.
No, man, definitely not. So I feel like I don't think that was a bad process. He was at 14% owned. The 2 alphas on either team. The game environment was there, even with Burrow going down. But for some reason, just didn't the results didn't show up with Brian Thomas. So gonna have to think a lot about whether or not I click the Jags again. I feel like a lot of people are going to be off him, so maybe it is the time to like kind of lean into Brian Thomas moving forward.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be monitoring like this injury news with him. Like there's something he's dealing with something.
Yeah, they came out said that he's dealing with a wrist injury, which kind of feels like Liam Cohen's like trying to throw him a bone, give him a little bit of an out because the tape looked really bad. Then tight end Tyler Warren. I really liked what I saw out of him against Denver. I just kind of wanted to fade the chalk McBride. I know a lot of people were on Jawan Johnson. I don't know exactly. I don't think I have him in. Maybe I do have him in a lineup later on, but yeah. Warren looked great against Denver, which is like a tough D. Indy looks great in general. Might have to like lean into them more heading into the season. And then Rome had a piece of the game that you had to have, just not enough, So
yeah, we all seem to hit on Rome, and I didn't even like click him. The optimizer kept feeding him.
Yeah,
and I should have took that and been like, okay, like I keep getting him. Why don't I get a piece of the other side? Alec Gibbs. We'll see my lineup, but yeah, dude, that. You'll see it in mine, but that's the one.
I'll flash a couple of these other lineups up here. I was also on I had a Cowboy stack. In hindsight, I went. I had a little bit of the Titans, but I was fading the Rams pass catchers, which never again. Just a bad move on my part. CD Lamb at 20%, probably not the best. The best process. Christian McCaffrey at 50%. In hindsight, probably wouldn't have gone that route, just because it's. I don't ever know if it's a good idea to play anybody at 50%, even if it's Christian McCaffrey. Right. And then the 22 point, it wasn't like I had to have it score. Again, Breece Hall just like tanks most of these lineups. Tet with a decent score, like he looked really good. I had him in a little 1v1 with McBride in that game, but ultimately nothing really doing on this one. I had a Mac Jones lineup again. Just didn't have enough of like I had good pieces, but I didn't have enough of them combined on all the lineups. So there's Breece Hall again. Man, God, dude, I put him on everything. He's just like terrible, dude. This was an Arizona stack, double stack. Marvin Harrison. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, listen. Don't get me started on him versus Neighbors coming out of college. He stole Malik Neighbors' Bilikhanov trophy. Sure. Harrison should have gotten it the year before. Jalen Hyatt stole it from him. It's a whole thing. Okay, we don't have time to talk about it, but yeah, man. I mean, another chase showing. Io Manor. Let's touch on him for a second. I mean, 4%, 32 is like stone cold minimum. I mean, he gets a touchdown. You could do worse in that range.
Yeah.
And
he's another piece I had too in my single entry. Leone from ETR had actually flag planted him as like a non-sexy guy who could fall into the end zone.
I mean, I'm gonna keep going back to him, man. I mean, Cam hasn't looked amazing, but he's also played some pretty tough defenses. The Rams are tough. Started with Denver. I think I heard somebody, I can't remember who it was I was talking about it, but they have a week 5 bye. So they're kind of expecting Cam and the Titans to kind of start the ascension after that, because I think the schedule kind of lightens up. So I'm going to kind of be looking to lean into them in the coming weeks too. But yeah, this is the lineup that I put into the SPY. I'll just pull up the SPY one right here. Yeah, this is gross. Fields, man, the Fell For It Again award goes to me for buying into the Justin Fields hype. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
What a horrible play. I mean, 15%, not terrible, but he just, at that percentage, he has to have a head-to-head score. And like, obviously, snowflake from him, snowflake from Hall, snowflake from Marvin Harrison. I mean, 3 snowflakes. You just can't have it. So I even hit on Ravens defense at 3%, which felt pretty good, but obviously didn't matter. Let's see. The winner of this one they were at 226 for 100K. They were on a Detroit Chicago stack. I mean, what a lineup. So yeah, that's all I got from Sunday. I didn't play Showdown. You wanna bring up yours?
Yeah, I'll show 2 of my classic Sunday lineups real quick. I didn't win anything, but I'll talk about the process. So I got that 10K Bink had me feeling myself, and I decided to enter a $300 entry fee single entry spin move. And like Dink had flag planted AJB. I thought like he had such a terrible, first week that you just felt like, okay, I could buy into him having a bounce back. Didn't happen. In fact, I think there's like a locker room interview with him where he's like, "Oh, we're like Philly's been telling us for as long as we can remember that they're just going to do whatever it takes to win the game. Like they'll tush push their way, and hammer the ball with Saquon." So you get excited about this passing offense, and it's just not there. Like they're just winning at the line of scrimmage, and they're just frustrating people with this tush push.
Ugly wins. They're like, just real quick, maybe one of the worst watches in the whole league. Like,
and it's
terrible watch, dude. Like, did you see the Chiefs too? Which that was a terrible game to watch. Did you see? I forget who it was, but right at the end when they were kneeling it out, he was like, "Man, you don't even have 100 yards," and Hurst was like, "We won the effing game. Who cares?" I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, well,
you could tell AJB's kind of bothered now, though.
Yeah,
like,
but he can't.
He's got an ego.
He can't really say it because they're winning, so it's like he has to just like swallow it. But as soon as they start losing, I can't wait for him to go nuts. But
so I was feeling good early because like I wanted to play into the late game and go with like a Hurts AJB with a Kelsey bring back and see if I could get, which ended up being pretty low owned.
Yeah.
And I was feeling good early because the Adunze was a hit. And so I was like, oh, I've got all these minutes remaining and I've got a hit in the lineup already. So I was actually in the money.
Nice.
I had the McCaffrey chalk, went with Gibbs again. And he's just like, it's not bad, but it's just not a slate winner.
Especially at that price and that ownership.
Yeah. We talked about Ayumanor. I'd had him in the flex as just some cheap wide receiver value. And yeah, I bought into Flowers he was wide receiver 1 week 1, and I thought, oh, Cleveland, like they should destroy them. They did. It all went to DeAndre Hopkins. So that's gambling for you. So nothing there. And then I'll show my nickel. Got to talk about our boy Spencer Rattler. Like, do we have something?
Nice. You got a Rattler one?
And Spencer Rattler? Like, do we have something?
No, man. Yeah. He's making me think heading forward because like I love the like I remember, I forget who it was. It was one of the Saints beat writers that was talking about how like if you're comparing Rattler to like Josh Allen, Lamar, Herbert, obviously it doesn't look great. But if you're comparing him to like his peers, like what
JJ McCarthy,
Bo Nix,
Caleb Williams, Bo Nix,
Caleb Williams, like he looks better than them.
Really good,
objectively better than them. And really all of the scoring or grading sites grade him better. I think PFF has him as like a top 12 quarterback through the first 2 games.
Yeah,
like he's looked really clean.
He's getting recognition from beat writers and national heads. Like they might have something with him.
There's
he's not the reason we're losing.
No, there's a stat on Pro Football Reference, I think, that they track like turnover worthy throws, and I think in week 1 he only had 1 turnover worthy throw, which like you think and again, nobody's paying attention to the Saints. Sunday it was a 1:00 game or a noon game, and it was Mac Jones and Spencer Rattler. Like nobody is paying attention to that game.
Yeah.
But if you look back at the box score, man, Spencer comes away with 3 touchdowns. Like, who doesn't have a 3 touchdown game? a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now. So yeah, man, I don't know.
It ended up being like a top 5 game environment. And we were on it in the preview. And so I went with a Kamara Jawan Johnson, which, ended up down, pretty low owned across the board. We talked and shout out to Blake. He always like he's an evangelist for like not every piece of your lineup has to be correlated. I tend to fall victim for that. We had talked about how Travis Hunter might be a different way to play that chalky, like Cincy Jacksonville game, but he just didn't hit. I had the chase. I felt like Jennings was going to torch the Saints. Super low owned. That was a hit. You just got to hit on, and then the AJ Brown bring back narrative again. I had him flex in this one.
I really don't think this was a bad lineup. I just think it didn't get there. Like
it just didn't get there.
The Travis Hunter play, I think, was really good. Like, I mean, what is that? 3.9%? Like, I mean, if he catches a touchdown, you know, you're gonna like skyrocket up the boards. And then I also don't think the AJ Brown like play was bad either, because like you kind of want to take some stances in these like uncomfortable like situations. And I mean, coming off of a one target game in week 1, like it doesn't get much more uncomfortable than that. So
I actually like this lineup in this 3 entry better than I did my single entry, because you look at the ownership, like the thought process of there is just Hunter and AJ Brown let me down. So
yeah, and that's something that I want to like think about as I move forward, because I always have trouble like, because I would usually make like 5 to 6 lineups a week and throw them into 3 max or 5 maxes. And I always like struggle trying to pick the one that I'm going to put into the spy. And I know I keep like questioning whether or not I'm going to keep playing the spy, keep like pumping money into it. That 100K up top, man, it's just
tempting, brother.
Talks to me like the Green Goblin mask every week, So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it too. Like, and like we talked about like contest selection, and I'm gonna get more into like these 3 entry nickels, the 5 entry that you played. Like those are pretty positive EV comps,
right?
But those single entries, like you have a chance in a low player pool, like a small player pool, to get that kind of money. Like I'm just gonna keep going back to that.
Yeah, and I mean the 100K spy wasn't necessarily small, like low entry. 4,444 entries. I'd say probably like mid level entries. So it's definitely not like the triple digit entries, but I mean still like, that 100K up top, like all it takes is one. And look, I think you mentioned that in the Millie, the winner who took it down had 260 score. The winner who took down the 100K in the spy had a 226. So again, you don't have to be 100% perfect.
Right.
You just have to get close.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I think I'm gonna keep plugging away at it, and keep giving it a shot, because this is just one of those weeks where if you didn't have the right pieces from those 2 big game environments, like I didn't have Neighbors. I wasn't on Neighbors, unfortunately. Wasn't on Amon-Ra. I was on Chase, but it didn't really matter. So just got to chalk it up to one of those where if you didn't have it, you didn't have it.
Right, and a guy like Alumanor on any other week where like you didn't have these monster games probably hits in his optimal, but it just didn't matter, because even though he was cheap and he was a hit, you needed Amon-Ra and you needed Neighbors, you needed Chase.
And you start talking about like the week to week variance in this game. Like last week, a score of 167 would have like taken down most contests. Now I've like barely scraped by a min cash. So just week to week, it just the variance is so high.
I find that there's a tendency to like, differentiate at wide receiver, play the chalk studs at running back. Well, this is one of those weeks where you had to jam in the studs at wide receiver, it feels like, and find cheap differentiation elsewhere. So that doesn't always hit, but there's weeks throughout the season where it just does. Like you just got to add the guys. So
why don't you pull up your showdown from Sunday night? Because this is of the group, this is the only green that any of us saw. So I actually didn't play the Sunday night showdowns, so I'll let you take this one away.
Yeah, so this is the most success I had all weekend, and then I ended up giving all this back in entry fees in the Monday slate. But so whatever. But yeah, I played this lineup in the spy and got 19th, and I also played it in the hard count and got 3rd. So again, to your point about smaller comps, right? I guess neat. I mean, top prize of this one's only $300, but JJ McCarthy has had. I mean, he before this game he had 3 bad quarters and 1 good quarter, and
one great quarter,
and that's one great quarter. Yeah, and I felt like that could be something to exploit. And the stance was, Bijan plus Falcons defense could be kind of a stand, and it ended up being that, right? Like, the defense was only played 11.5%, which I think was even lower than where ETR had it projected. And their pass rush.
Have you found that defenses have been lower owned through the showdown slate so far?
They have, and I usually don't play defenses. Like I tend to opt for kickers, and I didn't even play kicker in this one. If I had, I'd probably bink.
We were talking about this on text because Blake doesn't really play showdown like we do. And he was just talking about defenses and stuff. And I just mentioned how I just almost refuse to play them. And just out of I want to bet on a game environment being good. And right. I feel like in order for defenses to be optimal, it has to be a disgusting game, which this turned out to be. And I mean, which I feel like a lot of these island games have been. But yeah, so I usually, if it's a defensive game, then I usually am not going to do well. So I probably wouldn't have even done that well on this slate anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing that made this kind of unique is the double running back.
Yeah.
I think I had applied a doc that if I had Captain Bijan and Doc Algier, but I still found a lineup where both of them were optimal and it ended up hitting. And so, that was nice. The thought process was cool. I didn't feel comfortable playing it, but it felt like a stand that could be just leverage against the field.
Yeah.
It's just that Hawkinson looks cooked. Dude, I'm so wrong about him. That's the big. That might be the biggest L I'm taking.
I think
there's a clip where that's going viral with him where he just runs the worst route ever, and he looks like the Drewski meme where he's just.
I mean, also just a combination of him not looking good and JJ just not playing well. It's just a perfect storm of just bad takes and I got him in our home league. It feels way worse to have him because I missed out on grabbing Jawan last week, and a couple others.
Kraft probably in the draft.
So now I don't know. I might have to get Chigakonkwo. I don't know, but that's a redraft situation. But yeah, man, I fell on the Hawkinson sword last week in the showdown because I had a fire lineup. And I had Hawkinson at captain, and he just completely tanked it.
I think. So the first place, which took down 15K, he had Jefferson and Mooney too, which I had. So those were snowflakes, and he still binked because he had the kicker. He had the double kicker with the defense, and the Tyler Algier play actually outscored Reichard. It's just that you needed Romo. He had what? 4 field goals and 5 field goals, 150 plus.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, I probably should have, if I was going to do
nice job on not jamming Penix in because I feel like I don't know that I would have gotten there with Penix, but I definitely probably would have thrown JJ in there after last week's performance. So nice job on fading both the quarterbacks here.
Yeah, it felt like, if I was going to go Atlanta heavy, then just give me the best weapons that Minnesota's going to have to, with this game script, that's going to have to chuck it to. And unfortunately, Jefferson was fine, but
did you have any reason why you didn't put London in any of these?
Yeah, well, I thought Mooney being back healthy was going to go under owned and he could be leveraged against London because I think London was a little banged up. And I thought adding Mooney to that mix with Ray McLeod, he might go overlooked. Just didn't do anything, man. So, so close. Like I said, if I play Romo instead of, I mean, I'm already leaving I already left damn near 2,500 on the table. If I had replaced Hawkinson with a kicker, it would have been leaving 6K on the table, which would have beat. It's
so crazy because ever since you won the 10K and you were talking about how you leave usually leave at least 1,000 to 1,200 on the table. I've been building that way, and sometimes you get these builds and like that one where it's 5,000 on the table, and you're that feels too much. But in these environments, I feel again, this is the situation where that just completely wins. But in another situation, he probably doesn't even min cash, So it's you got to be willing to barbell these GPPs and. Yeah, I mean that's how you do it, right? So
so we were one piece away. Had to play the kickers, and usually if I play these grind and pound, like slow pace, like defense, running back, captain. I do usually also include a kicker, but I don't know why I didn't do it here. I was hoping for a Hawkinson bring back, and he just, like I said, he looks cooked. So
I think we've been playing with our hearts with Hawkinson, and I don't think he's. I think he's burned me too many times. So
yeah, and if I do that, I probably try to switch off of Mooney into London or something else that didn't hit, and I don't know. But
Bijan being 11% captain, that seems way too low, man. I would
he
have
was
thought
like clearing away the best, like price adjusted player on this.
I would have thought that would have came in closer to 20. Like, who was it? Well, I guess Jefferson was 14. That's still crazy to me that Bijan wasn't the highest owned captain.
Yep.
So yeah, well, let's move on to Sunday. Monday actually. So Monday was weird this week because we had a doubleheader. So there was a classic slate on this one as well. I ended up playing one classic slate in the small spy. Let me bring that up. So didn't win anything, but I did have a little bit of a sweat going into the night game. The winner won 3K and took it down with 128. And I
Keenan Allen, man.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. He's hard to get away from. But I had a little bit of a sweat. I was pushing close to the money line especially when QJ caught that bomb touchdown. I thought for sure I was going to cash. But Bowers, man, snowflake, just a weird opening 2 games to the season for him.
And McBride, yeah.
Yeah, so, and he's dealing with a knee injury. Just the offense didn't look good at all. I mean, I will say Chargers defense looks really good. And so I'm kind of just chalking it up to that. Hampton,
complete team.
Hampton's really making me sad. So, I mean, some of these percentages are weird just because it's like there was only 222 entries in this. So, and it's a classic slate. I mean, or 2-game slate. So I feel like these percentages are going to be super elevated. Otten was like a foot away from scoring a touchdown. So that doesn't feel good. I feel like if he scores a touchdown at 9%, probably would have at least min cash with this one. So, it is what it is. We don't have a ton of these 2-game slates very often. So, I try to get some action in it. And then I did play the showdown slate for the Chargers Vegas game. Didn't win anything in that one either. So,
I kind of wish I played the classic 2-game slate because, to your point, they don't come around often. I went the opposite end and played both showdown slates.
Yeah.
And I'll show that quick
for the Chargers Vegas showdown real quick. I did the play action again. I just max entered 20 on those, and I put 10 with QJ as my captain, and I actually had a pretty decent sweat going for a little while, and Gino couldn't get it done late to bring me up closer to the top. So
so the Tampa Houston game, I tried to repeat the vibes of like captaining the dusty old running back like I banked with the Javonte Williams in the season opener. And it ended up being okay.
He scored.
Because he scored, which saved me. In hindsight, I wish I dropped from Evans to... for some reason, I thought like everyone's going to be on Igbuka, and he's going to be way more owned than Evans. But actually in these smaller field... I love these spies. These smaller field competitions. I think Igbuka was like 34-ish.
Okay.
And he ended up being higher.
I wonder if everybody thought the same as you.
Exactly. In these sharper, smaller field, they probably think, oh, Evans, like, he's due for a bounce back. He's the real alpha. Like, I fell into it. And then that would have freed me up to do Woody here, who I really wanted to play because he was 2K, but I was tapped out here with salary. If I had just dropped from him to Buka, who outscored Evans.
Jalen Noel was like a shoestring away from breaking a punt return too.
Do they get points?
They get touchdown points.
They get touchdown points?
If they score a touchdown on the special team. I mean, I think the defense gets the points too, but the actual guy who scores the punt return TD gets the TD.
Yeah, I remember submitting this lineup like 5 minutes before kickoff and then having like instant regret. Like, what am I doing? Like Jalen Noel.
This is an early game too. It kicked off at 6. Usually games kick off at 7:20. So
yeah,
I remember we were talking about it. You were like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get one in. So
Yeah. In hindsight, I probably would have done that. And this is the rare kind of like I rarely do this, but the no quarterback lineups. Is like a quick and dirty way to get different. But yeah, it's just hard to take a 0 when Woody, I think Woody was even lower owned and had like an optimal score. So
matter
of fact, let me see what the winning lineup was here. It was Baker. The Baker double stack was Shepard and Igbuka,
Stroud
Chubb,
and Fairbairn.
And he also had Stroud. Yeah, interesting. Nico hasn't really. Who do you feel worse about as a best ball first round pick, Nico Collins or Justin Jefferson? So through 2 weeks.
It kind of depends on what they do at quarterback in Minnesota, right? Because, I don't know, man. I used to think Justin Jefferson was quarterback proof. And then JJ McCarthy happened. So I don't really know if he's actually injured or if they're just kind of making this up to because he finished the game, right? And then they announced that he was missing 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle. So what?
And he didn't even at no point in the game did it look like he got hurt.
Yeah. So
people are like, maybe they're just saving him from himself. Like,
yeah, they're like coming
his
up with a way to
last play was a scramble. Like it's weird.
So, I don't know, man.
He was they remember when we did the what if episode and like what are the things that could break fantasy and what are the things that like we could just all be wrong about?
Yeah.
The one like my runner up candidate was what if JJ McCarthy is just not good?
Yeah.
And that's kind of playing out. Like you got to feel
Just think about like what Minnesota passed up on. They didn't pay Darnold. They let Daniel Jones walk, which they thought that which the reports were that they wanted him to stay. And they put it all on JJ, and so, man, that QB class this year, I know they had like Bo Nix last year and Jaden last year, and Penix looked good like at the end of the year, but it hasn't looked good this year. Like through 2 games, Caleb's looked bad, Jaden has looked not good. They were overmatched against Green Bay. Nix has looked bad. Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe that class, unfortunately, might have just been mid, and we just thought it was a lot better than it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
anyways, so
I think I probably feel worse about Jefferson to answer your question. Just because you don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. And like we've seen Nico and Stroud do it before, right? So, and even that was even with Stroud having like a pretty down year. So I think that they hit for the touchdown, which was a great play, and then they were like a couple inches away from another touchdown too. So it hasn't looked perfect, not exactly what you would want from your first round pick, but I still have some faith in that one.
Yeah. And he had that on the first drive, like that touchdown. I was like, oh, this is going to be a Nico game. 3 receptions the rest of the way. Like, it's just weirdness, man. But yeah, Igbuka actually came in at 37, so slightly less owned than Evans, and outscored him by 2 points. So I guess that's a wash, but salary-wise,
it
would have opened up a lot more things.
He had a shot at a bigger game because he missed that late deep pass. If Baker
and Evans had that offensive PI that was a touchdown.
Yep.
That could have, made him optimal, but
yeah. So all in all, not a great week.
Yeah, and then I guess real quick on the Chargers one.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one.
I had Captain Keenan, but you needed QJ again. Like what is this Quentin Johnston resurgence? Top 5 wide receiver season he's had, and that's my TCU guy. Like I should be in on him.
Yeah,
I don't know why I don't.
3 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. And that touchdown was pretty too.
Yeah.
60-yard bomb.
I knew I felt like I wanted to play a running back in this matchup, and Ginty felt way safer than Amari Hampton because I didn't know what they were going to do with Najee Harris.
Yeah.
But Amari Hampton scores 3.3 fantasy points, and Ginty scores 7. So it's like, what a waste of an 11K salary.
I know, man.
And then Ladd, like, I fell into this Scrubs, and Studs lineup construction here, and Ladd and Ginty.
What was the winning lineup on this one?
I think it was Herbert captain again.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no,
it was Allen.
Yeah, in this one, but I think in the actual optimal, it might have been Herbert at captain.
Chargers onslaught though.
Chargers onslaught, yeah, with a Myers bring back, which seems so simple in hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Keenan Allen, Ladd, QJ. So you got Herbert triple stacked, Chargers defense, and Myers.
Yeah.
And it felt like you had to make decisions between like Ladd and Bowers, Genty and Hampton. That all just ended up being dust anyway. Like you needed the Chargers on.
That was a weird game, man. Yeah, I think didn't Geno throw a pick on like his first pass? The first play of the game was a pick.
I think he ended the game on a pick too.
Yeah, so it was a fun weekend, and they always are, right? But yeah, if you weren't on the big game on Sunday, on the big 2 games on Sunday, it feels bad. Even though, the Washington or the Dallas Giants game didn't really pop off until like the very end with that like Malik bomb touchdown. And then that I think sent the scores like kind of skyrocketing. So it'll be interesting to see like if people chase that next week with going back to the Giants well and seeing if they turn into a pumpkin, if people chase the Indy stuff.
Yeah.
I got my eyes on the Indy matchup. Looking ahead to next week, I haven't looked too far ahead, but I'll probably have some Daniel Jones, which feels gross. Am I going to just egg on my face again with the Justin Fields from this week? So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll do another preview show to see what's kind of standing out to us and our flag plans per usual. We were in on a lot of stuff. It's just we didn't have the right combination of stuff, and you had to have that again. You had to have that.
Shout out Blake with the Mac Jones flag plan. He got it right.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good.
Crazy. I told him like if he beats me, he beats me. And what does he do? For the first time in his life, scores more than 20 fantasy points.
Well, what's crazy, dude, is
the Saints.
Rattler. Rattler had a better game. I think. Did he have a better score than Mac Jones? Yeah. So
I think Mac Jones had 24 and Rattler had 21.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I could be something like that.
But it'll be interesting to see what like Rattler does this week because it's obviously a tougher environment going up to Seattle. So we'll see what the Saints actually do if they're for real, where we want to keep going back to them in these environments just because they're going to be in these competitive game scripts, or if they're just going to get their doors blown off. Like
I think they're fun. I think they're fun. I think we called it. Like you're gonna there's going to be weeks where those pieces you're going to want.
They could have won both of these games.
They could have, right?
Yeah.
And I think they got a chance. Like that'll tell us if we really have something around. Like go on the road, tough Seattle defense. So if they're competitive,
I definitely on the best ball front, I am worried for my shuck bags, just because I think Rattler has definitely shown enough to keep,
where you doubt if he can even be benched at any point. Yeah.
Right. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well they gotta figure out what they have with Shuck, right? Or you would think, like, but
who knows with Mickey Loomis, man?
I know, right? That feels like a GM decision. I can't imagine Kellen Moore is going to look at this situation and think, oh yeah, I want to see what I got in Shuck, like because Rattler has played really well and he's put the team in position to win these games, and just they're like first year head coach, blunders, drop balls away from actually winning these games. They can't put games away yet, obviously, but they're there. They're not getting their doors blown off.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna keep going back to Olave. I saw that he had like one of the highest expected fantasy points. Because he had to drop touchdown. That was kind of a behind a late throw from Rattler, but yeah.
The Saints are a Jawan Johnson drop and like the combination of a Blake Krupe missed chip shot and a wide open Chris Olave touchdown drop for being 2-0.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
And I would wonder what the narrative about Rattler would be, because nobody cares about everybody's box score watching. Nobody's got the Saints on their radar, right? They're just looking at box score. Oh, Saints got beat again. Oh, Saints got beat 2 weeks in a row. That's expected, right? But like Rattler is like looked really good. really is maybe not really, but he's looked decent enough. So,
Yeah. I mean, I played him in a single entry. Like
I think they're still going to continue to be low owned, and their prices aren't going to go up. You know,
yeah. And if Kellen Moore is going to continue to call the most plays, like he's the engine of that. Like, he's even showing some scrambling ability. Like,
yeah. And honestly, I think next week might be an even better spot for them if we're going to talk about like game theory, like on these slates. Like nobody's going to be on them again. You know, it's going to probably be a low total. It's probably going to be a quote unquote bad game environment. You know, but again, looking back, like going back, people thought that like people were off of New York, the Giants this past week. You know, a lot of people wanted Dallas, but they didn't think that the Giants were going to push it. They just thought that Dallas was going to like put their foot on their necks and just keep pushing it, regardless of what the Giants did. But the Giants had scores that you had to have too. So like, it's a week to week thing, man. You can't like get so caught up on these narratives that where like you get take locked into these certain things. And yeah, so I'm interested to see where the ownership projections come in on that Saints Seattle game, because it's probably going to feel gross, but I'll probably go back to it.
Yeah, I think you learn a lot each week, and like I think I'm gonna try for classic strategy next week. Like, take your point about like figuring out starting with your defenses, because that at least eliminates an offense that you don't want to play. Right. If you feel confident or convicted about a defense, then you don't want to play the opposing offense, and then kind of back your way into your stacks that way, and then play the good chalk, and you know. So I might try that because I usually start with like receivers and trying to think, okay, who could break the slate, and then fleshing out the lineup that way. I kind of want to start from the bottom and kind of work my way back with the ownership.
I wanted to bring this up when we were talking about the Monday Night Classic slate, the 2-game slate. I was listening to, I think it was 1 week season. I think it was one of their pods that they put out throughout the week. Sorry to not know the specific one, but they just talk about how like for these short slates, like just onslaughting one of the games. And if you look at Sunday's main slate, if you onslaughted the Detroit Chicago game, I mean, you were pretty much there, right?
Yeah.
You at least min cashed, and you didn't have to get hardly anything else right. If you onslaughted that game, you were gonna get money back. So, and I was telling this to Trey before we recorded. I feel like Detroit is good for like a few games a year at home where they're just the had to have it game.
Golf I think back to crazy in the dome.
Yeah,
like 2 or 3
I think
times
back to a couple years ago where it was Detroit and Seattle when Geno was there, and like they just insane total. Like I think that they both scored like 40 something points. Hawkinson had like 50 points. It was insane. And if you didn't have that game, if you didn't have any pieces from that game, you might as well just not even open the app and check your scores because you were just cooked.
Facts.
I think the Millie just like that week, I remember it because it was like the most chalkiest Millie you could imagine. But the dude just like stacked every player from that game, and he made it there, you know. So I don't know why. I just haven't been attracted to Detroit. Maybe it was week one, how they looked week one, but I think that just shows like how good Green Bay is. So yeah, I'm excited. You know, every week is a new week, is a new opportunity.
New slate, totally different structure. Like even with Showdown, like you can't repeat. Sometimes I fall victim to that, is trying to like repeat strategies and structures. Like it's a completely clean slate. Like it's a different matchup, different, you know, pricing's changed. Gotta attack it like a new slate every week. So
yeah. So we're excited. We're gonna get another episode like we did last week. I'm not sure exactly when Blake gets back. It might be us again, solo or duo, to do Thursday and then Sunday. Little preview.
Did Blake win anything? I think he had like.
Yeah, Blake actually did pretty well, but obviously I think he was supposed to write something up for us, but he's in South Korea doing something.
Okay, we'll excuse him.
Yeah, so maybe we'll let him talk about it when he gets back again next time. But yeah, man. Well, let's get out of here. This was fun, even though we didn't win anything. Always good to chop it up. But yeah,
for the show, I'm gonna go do my home league waiver claims.
Oh yeah,
and then
gross. I'm about to go
do some early
try
research.
to get Joe Flacco, not Joe Flacco,
Jake Brown,
Daniel Jones, I guess. I don't know. No. I'm screwed. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.